Hey guys, Licentiate here from the Rift Forums, talking a little bit today about how to gear a character for the 20 to 29, 30 to 39, and 40 to 49 Warfront brackets and Rifts. There's a link to a forum post in the video information below that goes into a little bit more detail. For this, I just want to kind of show you where to find the gear and make it very clear just how easy it is to gear a character for these brackets. So here we are starting out in Gloamwood Pines. Obviously this is for the Guardians, and we're looking at the rare planar goods vendor. Now all of these vendors are basically the same. They sell gear for one particular level. In this case it's all level 20. It's all blue or rare quality or higher. You can see we have leg armor, there's some lesser essences there. Now we're looking at the shoulder armor, also level 20. And then down towards the bottom you see the head armor. Now this is exceptional quality gear for its level. Level 20 epic head armor is going to be as good as or better than a level 29 green. It's actually going to be quite a bit better than a level 29 green. If you're looking at the people running around in Warfronts in the 20 to 29 bracket doing all these crazy things, if you examine their gear, this is what they're going to be wearing. There's not a whole lot better that you can find anywhere else. Now we're going to head into the inn here, into the back, and we're going to take a look at the Gloamwood Waykeeper's Quartermaster. This is the faction for Gloamwood. This is one of the guys that you want to look at if you're having trouble filling out a particular spot on your character. You want a good weapon or an accessory or something, maybe a particular armor slot you can't get with the planar gear. This is where you want to look. Even if you can't make this yourself because you don't have the crafting skill or you don't have the necessary level of notoriety with that faction, at least gives you an idea of what's available so that you can kind of go ask in your guild or ask around town, see if someone can make it for you. You know exactly what to ask for, you know exactly what you need to have it made, and you know exactly what you're going to be getting. So now here we are in Scarlet Gorge again. This is for the Guardians, and we just left the portal. We're going to head up and talk to the rare planar goods vendor, which is right here. And this is all level 25 gear. So if you take this and combine it with the level 20 gear, um, this is the backbone of what the level 20 to 29 players are wearing in Warfronts. We have lesser essences, level 25. If you need to fill out some good lesser essences, this is the place you want to go. Don't get the level 20 stuff, get the level 25 here. You see we have blue boots, and then down towards the bottom, we're also going to get into the epic gloves. So just from these two planar goods vendors in the 20 to 29 bracket, you have 3 blues and 2 epics. You don't really need to look too much farther to get your character geared than here. You can fill out some pieces here and there, but this is what the twinks are wearing. So 4 zone events maximum will get you all the planar currency you need for this gear. So moving up into gear for the 30 to 39 bracket, here we are in Scarwood Reach, Kane's Command. This is obviously for the Guardians again. We're going to go around into the back here where all of the great vendors are. Here we have the Faction Quartermaster. We might take a look at him in a minute, but over in the back is the Rare Planar Goods vendor. Now, again, this is all level 30 gear. One of the things you want to take a look at is that they have the blue chest pieces up at the top. Don't buy those. Down towards the bottom, you'll see the epic chest pieces, but also we have the level 30 lesser essences. If you have the planarite, you want to upgrade your lesser essences, this is a great place to look. Also, the blue quality legs. When I was in the 30 to 39 bracket with my warrior, this is exactly the gear that I was wearing, is the level 30 legs. And then down at the bottom, like I mentioned, we have the epic chest pieces. Now, depending on what kind of sigil you're using, you might want to take a look at the greater essences down at the very bottom of the list here. Otherwise, just load up your sigil with the lessers. Quite often that's just as good or better than what you'll get out of the greater essences for your calling. Now, once we're done here, we can turn around and take a look at the PvP goods vendor. Most zones have a PvP goods vendor. Now, depending on whether or not you're planning on locking your experience, this may or may not be somewhere that you want to spend your favor. If you just plan on leveling all the way through to 50, I would recommend that you save your favor. Don't buy this gear. But if you're locking your experience or you're running a lot of Warfronts and you don't care, take a look at these guys. Now, here we are at the Quartermaster. One of the things that I noticed when I was looking through this guy is he's actually got some recipes for level 29 gear. Most of it is 30 or higher, but he's also got some level 29 gear recipes. So it's well worth taking a look. And as with previous faction vendors, um, this is not really particularly expensive gear to have made. If you can't make it yourself, again, just see if you can find someone who can make it for you. And now we're in Droughtlands at Lantern Hook, and this is where you're going to come whether you're Guardian or Defiant for your level 35 planar gear. Here's your rare planar goods vendor, same as all the other ones. He's got your lesser essences, he's got blue quality headpieces for level 35, epic quality shoulders. When I had my Warriors experience locked briefly in the 30 to 39 bracket, this is exactly the gear that I was using. There wasn't anything special about it. It was gear that's accessible to anyone. It didn't take very long at all to farm up the currency to get it. Now we're moving into the back. We're just going to show you briefly where the quartermaster is. Same as before, if you've got your planar gear squared away and you've got a couple other slots that you want to look at upgrading, this is a great place to look. Um, don't forget your puzzles and cairns. If you're new to the game and you don't know what those are, I'll have a link below to a guide where all the puzzles and cairns are and even how to solve the puzzles if you don't want to figure it out yourself. That's another great way to potentially get some gear to fill in some holes. But realistically speaking, if you have the planar gear in the 20 to 29 and the 30 to 39 brackets, you'll be competitive against anyone else that you find there. Now, there's a PvP goods vendor here. We're not even going to look at him. We're just going to skip directly to Whitefall. Now we're looking at gear for the 40 to 49 brackets. Whether you're Guardian or Defiant, this is the rare planar goods vendor that you're going to want to stop off and see first. This is all level 42 gear. In the previous brackets, the gear started at the beginning of the bracket, level 20 and level 30. In this case, we're starting at level 42. Ignore the legs on this vendor. You do not want to be spending your currency on these legs. You want to go right down to the bottom. You're looking at the transplanar gear. If the name doesn't start with transplanar, you don't want it from these vendors because there's actually a total of 6 pieces that you can get from these vendors that will cover the entire left side of your character sheet except for the belt. And now, speaking of the belt, this is the place where I found the belt for all my characters. I don't know if there's better, but this one is certainly a good place to start, and that's the PvP vendor in Xeros Return. Again, it's the same vendor whether you're Guardian or Defiant, and he is right over here. Now my cleric doesn't actually have this belt yet, so I'm going to buy that, and then we're going to move on. Um, one of the reasons why I didn't notice that there was a third rare planar goods vendor is because they aren't exactly in the main sort of areas. You look in Whitefall, there was one there for this bracket, but in the previous brackets they were in sort of the main quest hubs for the zone. I haven't done a lot of questing in Stillmore, and that's why I missed out on the one in Warden's Descent, which you can see on the map here is sort of out of the way right there. Lower left corner of the box for Warden's Descent. That's the map marker. Um, so I wasn't surprised that I missed it, but I was glad I found out about it because just like all the other rare planar goods vendors in this level range, they have one rare and one epic piece. These are for level 45. Just like previously, this is where you want to start looking at your lesser essences to fill out if you haven't had much luck filling them out from zone events and normal drops. But you can see we have shoulders, we have head armor. This is what my characters are wearing in the 40 to 49 brackets. All 3 of them is the extra planar set, transplanar set. And now we're in Shimmer Sands, Fortune's Shore. This is the last planar goods vendor. Now, again, inscribed source stones, planarite. If you're finding that you're falling short of the planarite department, you can always pick up one of the planarite vaults. It's 1 inscribed source stone and it converts to 500 planarite. So that's something to keep in mind. If the planarite cost is sort of getting beyond what you're getting from the zone events, you've got the inscribed source stones, then you can always do that conversion. Now, lastly, one of the nice things about this bracket is everyone goes to the same place for their weapons eventually, and that's to your planar goods equipment guy right here. Most of this gear is for level 50, but if we scroll down to the bottom and start looking at the weapons, we're going to see a number of weapons that start at level 48. There's something here for every calling, and you can see the inscribed source stone cost is starting to get up there. You're starting to do a lot of zone events. You're starting to save up those inscribed source stones. By level 48, you can start moving up into Ember Isle. If you have ideally a support build, you're not going to be doing a lot of damage. It's not easy. Here's my cleric, level 49, experience log. Oh, yeah. But it's worth it. 18 inscribed source stones just for showing up and helping out as best I could. So that's it. That's the backbone of gearing for all of these brackets. I hope it was helpful. If you liked it, subscribe.